Now I know this is a short far cry out for help. I spent under detained by my uncle for a year straight in 2022. That's to tell back I didn't want to be in there. They locked me up in a room and give me 3 meals a day. I weigh only 170, now I'm 185. I think about getting bigger, eating as much as I possibly can, so they don't think I'm some lowlife. And to make matters worse, I waited for my dad to come to Cambodia. It's been years. I had stayed since 2016 till 2023. That's 7 years. And lasting to write and read books is all I did. And when food arrives, I double my weight. And to work, they gave me gardening to pass the time. Not to mention a hoe I sliced, the dirt to tilt the soil. Never have it reach me I was in the worst situation, from getting out of curfew. The worst situation I survived, without anyone but prison mates that get months. Not even a year. And it's my uncle's orders as commander of the Air Force Parachute Division 911 base. Never falter under and fall in line. I myself am a soldier of the Armed Forces for Cambodia in 9/11 base. My uncle didn't vouch, but that's why he imprisoned me and got as long as a year of gardening a hoe. Strong oxing, it was the will I'm at good thoughts to muster up a reverse countermeasure. That was how it was? You know, they didn't let me do stuff, some things, picking at weed. That's a punishment for leaving on duty as a soldier. Part of the Cambodian military, and love it to be that. And I think my excuse is to play ditch, since I could hardly go anywhere. Make matters worse, I smoked and enjoyed drugs, and confessing, I might hit up a prostitute. What's more is the meeting of the other paradox. Polly is not what I imagine. If he's me in an alternate reality. His uncle died hurted last night. Not that uncle. And through the subconscious level. An in-law uncle, much to not know, I'm writing this. There's proof going around. Never shall I mention, life be the pace it went. To rid vanity's affair as a bad guy in public eyes. I discover I had real man, again. Not to target potheads and tarnish them for having a real thought of trying to be the guy. Never known life went the pace it went. Not that I say that I became flawless. Never shall you go unattended by the guards. And spiteful was when I can't grasp the things worth mentioning. To all that care deeply on why things went wrong, I find that they took away my privileges to a T. And in on itself has onlookers waiting to preach to me. Even if God wills he intended to, that's all. Never waver to a silent ox. The way things went won't fathom. I am, myself, a bystander, and portrayer of people's demise. That in on itself is much more to gain than meets the masses. I govern as a caretaker around the house. The big house has a flower garden at the front porch. That's to sum things up. About I'm just visiting family. My privileges include money, the phone, and going places. Not to get them taken away, you think? To work me to be a soldier, supposedly? Not never will I find peace for 7 more years. As my wife felt like leaving me. For not anyone, just out of love. The never have been has happened. Never cared enough to etch the truth. That's to never know the truth, to some. Not to others, in love, living life to offer. The goal is that my aunt would invite me over for lunch and dinner. By over I mean, come into the room. When I got up, I have to work on stuff. I think passing fruit to my uncle by the gatekeeper is alright in my book from the front. Never known love would last this long on account. I was ditching. When in doubt, not in Rome, and can fathom up the truth. Never have we witnessed that to get up in mornings. It's not hard, but unbearable was all the people get to talk and use their smartphones. Except I? Myself, and not for any sake of relieving the moment when I get paychecks. Just slouching around though. I keep it from her, the cash. Some nights. For all we know, she keeps it for me, supposedly, she does. But I'd asked for stuff, she'll buy it. They miss me by now, I'm thinking. No, one has to offer us anything. What she has to offer is kindness. Not by my little cousin, Philippe, a 6-foot guy. You think? You are definitely right. Not that other cousin Bong Falika, and she's mean. To a T. And we don't value time together as I thought. Never really mattered, on occasion. She yelled at me. That's not to stretch the truth. But, I've been smoking not fumar marijuana? But cigarette smoke. They can't stand that. But I am a victim of selfless act. Conjure stuff up not for grabs. Don't get me wrong, I have my own money, for buying them stuff. But their attitude is not in front of me. And that's the last line of defense against hatred. And the likes not so approve. But what is there to do when your mother sends you to them? Out of care. For buying time, until she owns a house. You be the judge. Don't get me wrong, living expenses are there and I pay them, gradually enough times. Without consent I just dodged them, when work was over. On the house sometimes I'd do laundry. On to the moral, have stuff bought to meets an end. They never can tell you how you spend cash. I bought baluta egg, the Filipino kind of fetus egg. Never cash grab and get stuff you didn't spend a dime with. That's to sum up my living expenses gone wrong and through the roof. And they have people helping they can call on. But she, the cousin, comes to whine and moan, and whine and complain. That's to no morals of writing in a time I've soon regret this to writing, to you. The audience and viewers. You catch my drift. I hardly have the time to comb my hair when I was there. And permitted to enter, while they eat. And I have to have leftovers from the great uncle I stole from. There's to no reason whatsoever I choose to play the victim. With my record. The only reason my uncle can't accuse me? Is he has no proof. But I set out to reveal nothing left unchecked. To tell you it's an experience that's a jaw-dropper. To say the least. Never did that deter me from acts unwelcoming. Without parameters, there's a bind that they caught me in the act. I went out after curfew. Some stay quiet, others seem to come back. Harshness doesn't begin to fathom. Without a single care of the lives one's led, they seem to think otherwise to ours. Not to name a few, there's Thon, Puta, and a girl's retouch. All working in league like I'd own the house. Never guessed they had anguish to deter me from smoking. Like none other. Without guidance and stuff, there's loyal people like Bong Sna, I don't know, as Cambodian goes. You think with autism he wouldn't find anything about society to call upon. None of this matters to him. Not that family wishes that I'm a dwarf too. Americans don't like him much. It's his personality I concur to upheaval. Right now, like the meaning of life, I thought they're never the kind to like him. To be goody two shoes. It's funny. I forgot to laugh at misfortune, fathom not being the latter god. Who in the subconscious has a rite of passage? That's good enough for me to fall under his category. Whence, where we came from, and over all else matters to the likes of them. Maybe a joke is played? Nothing much to stand idly by to second guess he was infamous. Enough about him. That everybody think he fakes it, I mention him, again that's life. That autism plays a short factor. Not as tall as my cousin. But, no one dares says he didn't hit on the oldest cousin of General Chap's offspring. No one likes him. Is why I'm writing this to you all. Never concur or upheaval to those who play the bandwagon. Enough of that talk about this guy. Who came to live with you at one point? For now I'll mention 3 of my cousins belonging to my uncle. The commander uncle has Bong Leek, Bong Falika, a year older, and Failit Fiti. When they're older, you add Bang. Who's the nice one I pal around with as my little, big cousin? He might remember him vaguely, the Yi Gai Bong Sna? Now he's tall and handsome. I meant my cousin. Dark and gaunt looking is to show you he's all bull-thudding cav. That's going to be the new thing, that calves are protected. When Cambodia gets big, no one would question bulls or calves. Never let no one come in between finances that go unchecked. No one bothers why we must not look out for one another. You get why I told you this, and my aunt is Marjorie, J.K. Her name is O.M. Sariroth. That's Aunt O.M. Her mother's half-white Nancy Smith, I found out. And she'll vouch for it. And hers last name is Kim. And when you badmouth someone enough to fall under the wayside. Nothing short of spectacular, I keep saying. No one even worries that life be without love long for it to happen to anybody. I wish it, but, as a fake account I got to talk to her, my love. Benign myself, to come to her rescue now. The guy Edgar harm her verbally has reborn. I'll get to that in later chapters. I as of yet found words of love to heal my body and soul and my mind at rest. No one has time at hand, no one is, rather adept at being, called upon. The way I came up on her to talk to. She's faking a dating bot. That turns her on to the thought of me. Not to mention Michael has nothing, not straw knocks. Like a mad buffalo ready to poise with his horn. Whatever, I don't care to offer condolence, enough to preach about that. It's Cambodian. It can go any way to mention him in this book. For him to get lightning strikes can calm down anybody who cares about you long enough to reach a conclusion to ends meet. Why I tongue twist tied in a bind of excuses. To never falter is not my weakness. To never in doubt rob you of life is to cherish the meaning of gradually out awaken the deity teasing me? Out of pure consideration. The moral is anyone can be your enemy. And have idle thought.